G'day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Broker Coach Podcast. Our mission is to be the most valuable podcast in the universe for mortgage brokers. I'm your host, Sam Panetta, and today I'm joined by the great man, Goldby from Source Financial.
Yes, Goldby, the great big man, the big man.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Yeah, pumped for the week.
Mate, we're going to have a big week.
It's going to be a good one.
Conference last week, conference this week.
I don't know how I let my wife go to two different conferences in a matter of 2 weeks, but here we are.
You're a busy bee.
Mm.
Mate, just so we can put today's context into conversation, you guys are doing 30 mil odd a month at the moment at Source.
Yeah.
Mate, how does it feel to get to 30 mil a month?
I have I've had a few people ask me recently, and it doesn't feel like a celebration, but because I'm just on to the next thing.
Yes.
But very proud of the team. But what does it feel like? Probably some validation.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to rewind a year and a half ago, it was terrible, and we went through that journey in previous things. But there's a lot of elation. But I don't think I've sat in a moment going, we've hit 30 mil. I've just gone into the. How
do we get to 40?
How do we now get me out of it?
Yes,
that's probably the thing that we've started thinking about.
So you've had to go deeper, and then as you've dug deeper, now you're trying to dig yourself out of the thing.
Correct. Yes.
Tell me more about the thought process behind that.
Yeah. I think there's been a lot of fear around it because I like control. I like to control things.
Yeah.
And the thought about it, well, last week kind of clarified a lot of things for me with some of the other guys, but the thought process around it has got to be, I want to keep growing the business. I want to keep growing people, more so the people in the team and bringing people on and seeing them flourish. I can't do that if I'm the main digger, trying to get myself into the deals and out of the deals. So now it's kind of like, well, now how can I replace me so I can keep bringing people on and see them win? So that's kind of the thought process.
What does it look like to get to the point now where you're saying, hey, I'm actually the bottleneck here and I need to remove myself in order for the business to keep growing? How did you get to the point where you're like, hey, I actually am the bottleneck and no longer the driver here?
When everything falls apart, because I'm just like I'm chaos. Right? I'm chaos. And like I've said before, the people that I hire are there. Like I've built the system for everyone just to harass the shit out of me. Because if I was left to my own devices with no one doing that, I'd start building Lego or doing something weird, right? But it's been built to pull me out of where I am. So the thought process on the bottleneck, I think, if I look at the business over the last 3 years, there's been different points where I've become the bottleneck in different areas and different reasons.
Yes.
And now there are other areas where I don't need, like, if we talk about settlements and loan processing, haven't touched any of those things, right? So I'm not a bottleneck there. But we've got some other things here where now I only just do these things and somehow I'm still a bottleneck. I just create another problem over here. So I figured out problem is me. And I need to get out. No, but I need to, like, I know that I can lead people. So I know if I can get to a situation where I'm not the guy, I know that people can come in and win. So if I look at Ben, our mortgage broker, came from, he's been a mortgage broker for 2.5 years, came from, like, what's the word? I've gone blank. He's like a counsellor, like child protection.
Yeah, right.
Child protection, and was in pastoral work beforehand. Came into our business as a $35,000 a year trainee, and then settled 10 mil last month. You know what I mean? So I want to do more of that.
More of building people up.
And I know that I can do that, but I can't do it efficiently if I'm the main rider, right? So that's what we've had the conversation. I've been up in arms on, do I just get more loan riders because I've got this fear around, what's happening industry-wise, or do I just keep being the guy, or do I get people in? So I think I've gotten to that position where I'm like, now we've gotten past and we've hit that number. I just don't want to keep doing it now, right?
100%.
Yeah.
You've cooked me here, mate, because I got like 15 questions off the off the back of that. When you spoke about the different bottlenecks that you became along the journey of the business, how long have you been at Source for? How long ago did you start Source?
It was end of 2022.
End of 2022.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been that long, 4 years.
No, not long.
And can you distinctly remember the bottlenecks that occurred over that 4-year period?
Yeah. Couldn't tell you exact times, but I think at the beginning it was just me, and I just hired completely wrong. I actually hired Ben, our current broker, as a customer service manager.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of whatever comes in you can do, not experience. So straight away, I'm the only guy experienced in the business and the bottleneck immediately.
Yes.
And Ben's over here waving, going, "Hey, Corey, I need some help. Can you show me how to do this?" I'm like, "Hey, I'll show you one day, but right now we're not going to." So
I'll train you later. Let me just do all this work that you're supposed to be doing.
I'll train you later. Everything you should do in a business. Honestly, if I did what I did last year, I'd be 3 years ahead of now, right? After that, I go, well, I need more people. I had big referral partners starting to come on board and they're referring in. And then I managed to get Ben into this genuine customer service role, which was initial call, gather information. And he was a weapon. He was so good with human beings. He just did really well and excelled there. And then I said, well, now I need these people. I need some other people to do some stuff. So I went and hired friends that had a little bit of experience in finance, but zero in mortgage broking and AOL and other banks.
Yeah.
So again, I went from bottleneck to now I'm another bottleneck. I didn't think about hiring someone experienced. Some of those people weren't great. Some of them weren't great people. Some of them were. And it just caused a lot of tension and toxicity. And I was just constantly dealing with something here, dealing with something here, dealing with something here. And it was just spot fire after spot fire. Like, I'd get on the emails at midnight. Oh, there's another one I have to deal with. It wasn't until about February last year where we kind of said, well, let's look at the cattle. Let's really performance manage and see what we need to do. That cattle left and we brought new people in. So it was a matter of bringing the right people in and having the right direction. So I knew what needed to happen. From there, the bottleneck became I was still probably fairly involved in the training. I'm a terrible coach. In terms of training people and technical skills, I can definitely sell people well on a conversation and selling, but I can't really coach like what box to tick where, what box to do here, and all those types of things. And there was no like standard operating procedures, so that was a big one. That was another bottleneck. And now here we are, probably the fourth or fifth bottleneck, where now I'm the main dude, and now it's time for me to tumble out the door. do something else within the business.
Yes.
But now it's just time for change. So I think there's been different versions of and I'm sure there'll be another one.
How painful was the experience where you had to clear the decks of the team members, mate?
It was terrible. It was terrible. We had a previous broker that we had to get rid of, and then I had this situation where the team just kept blaming it was a bank's fault, it was this person's fault, it was that person's fault. What was real painful was I have this what was painful is I'm okay with being firm, but I'm not okay with doing it. I'm not okay in being in an environment where there is tension for a sustained period of time, and that was there. It was difficult on me in terms of probably health. Like
I was going to say, what impacts does that have on your personal life?
Thankfully, my wife's a weapon. Like any other woman probably would have left me, but she's superhuman.
Shout out.
she's superhuman, but she could see the things I was going through, and we hadn't seen any kind of fruit yet in the business either. And it was kind of like, well, what's the point, kind of thing. I could go to a bank and earn these things.
So you're busting your ass. It was hard as shit, and you weren't crushing it like financially. No. So it was just like losing on both ends.
I had two businesses at TGM, winning, but we're winning so much that it was funding this because we just couldn't
get that one to work.
And our loans are taking 9 months to get payments on, and we were just kind of like in this rut. And literally within a year, last year, it just kind of switched. Right?
Can you put that down to anything specific where the switch happened?
Just cleared the decks, hired correctly. We outsourced. I'm not the person that the people that I'm the last person to interview. There are other people that go through the process and go, yes, they're wrong, yes, they're right. I'm the last person, which is kind of just a dickhead test. Well, who do I like? Who do I like most? So we pulled me out of some of those things. My business partner handles a lot of like the financial stuff, like budget, what do we need to do, who can we pay for, who can't we pay for, are we allowed to hire, are we not allowed to hire. He handles all that. My role's purely become coach the broker that we have on board, write lots of business. And now we've done those things, and there's some governance things we probably need to work on. And again, that's not going to be me because I'm not admin.
Yes.
I'm really bad at it. I know the thought process on like what do we need to do, but terrible at like outworking it. So it's been like that year was horrendous, mate. It was 12, 15-hour days. I took over from a bunch of things to kind of see what was actually happening under the hood. I handled the MIRs. I took over completely to kind of see what's the actual issue here. Are we a problem? Am I a problem? Or do we just have the wrong cattle? And there was a period of time, the new cattle came on board before all the other ones left. So they kind of were on.
So you could see them perform side by side, and it made it glaringly obvious, I assume.
Yeah, attitude, ownership was a big thing. I don't care if people every day someone makes a mistake. I cared about ownership, and everyone was just not willing to go, I made a mistake, and you show me. And it kind of became I trusted in it too much. Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, that bank's terrible. It's their fault. And rather than going, well, yeah, they did that, but you also there was here that could have avoided it, right? So that was we weren't getting any ownership. So it took a bit from us, but yeah, it's
business.
It's distant past now, it feels like.
When you're hiring someone, Corey, how the fuck do you test for the quality of ownership?
They just tell me.
What they say.
Again, you go, Corey, how do you measure it? Corey doesn't measure. I don't measure. I don't get a yardstick and go, what are you doing? My business partner is much smarter than me in those areas because he's done it. He puts together the things and he puts together reporting, and then we look at it together. So I need someone else that's smarter than me to do it. But you can tell pretty quickly. Like even now, where like I've had team members under pressure in my current business where they're just not performing. They tell you that they haven't done something.
Yeah,
and you can tell straight away. Well, someone's willing to tell me. Someone's willing to shoot themselves in the foot and go, "I've not done that, and you asked me to." Goes much further than go, "I thought I did that," or "I was waiting for this," or "I was waiting." No, they hadn't done it. So that goes a long way for me in terms of someone just going, I didn't do it, I'm sorry.
So you have to make the bet. That's the only way to test it. You've got to do your best from a character perspective and an attitude perspective and skill, talent, etc. when you bring someone on board. Yeah. But the only way to tell if they're actually going to do the thing is by making the bet, bringing them on board and seeing that they do the thing.
That's how I do it. This pisses my business partner off because I'm more on intuition.
I'm more on intuition
and vibe, Marbo. But he genuinely is. Nah, this is the number. I'm like, yeah, but it feels like this.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Right. So for me, it's for me that's how I do it. Yeah, and my team's amazing. They're great.
And mate, you've gone through this journey. When you started, did you think that this is what it was going to look like?
No.
What did you envision in your mind what it was going to look like?
Yeah, I'm trying to think back to it. I didn't think at the scale or at the speed. I thought we'd get to where we are now, but I thought I was going to be a solo operator with one person for 5 years, and that I was okay with that because that was fine. Still had other interests. But it just snowballed really quickly.
How did you get to where you got to faster than you expected?
Everything I've ever done is on accident.
By accident.
How are you in finance? By accident. Like everything I've ever done is by accident. But I want to be good at it. I get competitive. I just get obsessed. And then I burn myself out and I rest for a couple of weeks. And we've had this conversation.
Right, many times, a time.
The cup gets empty and then I go, and then I'm a really bad business owner for 3 weeks. And be a bad mortgage broker, and then I go on like a 6-8 week run. It's just how I've like something pisses me off, or I get inspired, and I just.
Ooh.
Super Saiyan.
Does it work the same? Does like being angry or being inspired? They're one's a really negative feeling, one's a really positive one. Do they both produce the same outcome for you in the business?
Yeah, they do.
So it doesn't matter how you get that energy to go do the thing, as long as you get it from somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. The team can tell if I'm like pumped or if I'm frustrated.
Yeah,
I don't like hurl abuse at anybody, but they can tell that, all right, Corey, something's happened. Someone said something to Corey, and now Corey's in a mood. Now, I just get things done. And it's an area, probably one of the big areas in my life that I need to figure out how does Corey's cup stay full, or how do I keep finding the inspiration to do it.
Have you thought about how to keep your cup full, Corey?
Yeah, I have, and it's stop mortgage broking.
Oh no!
No, I love the industry, but I think I'm just done with the
trade of mortgage broking, not the art of the business.
No.
The trade of writing the loans.
Amazing industry.
Yes,
amazing industry.
Yes.
Glad I fell into it. But I think I'm now just in a different point of life. We've across both businesses we're at 30 people and we're hiring more, right, for both businesses. And there's other businesses that we want to do because I just want to be, I'm creative naturally, so I want to do other things, right? I just want to keep building and creating and seeing people win. So I think once I get to that position, that kind of mentality will change. But I'm sure there'll still be something that I'm like, have to fill the cup back up with.
100%. This is really interesting because nearly everyone starts off in mortgage broking as the mortgage broker, right? And then they get some support, they get some credit, they build a team, they write more loans, then they might get a broker or two, and they'll continue building the support team out. What was the trigger point for you where you were like, hey, I actually have to get off the tools fully here. That's the next ambition in my business.
Yeah, the reason for it, I don't know if there's a particular trigger point because it's a conversation that's come back to me a few times. Like it's been a few times it's come to me, and I've kind of, I think the biggest thing for me around the trigger point was, one, could I put my ego aside? Meaning, in my head, I feel like I needed to be number one or number two in Australia, right? So my thought was, well, then maybe I just keep pushing. Maybe I'll just keep writing more and hit that. But when I hit that, it's kind of... So for one, it was putting the ego aside. That's been the one trigger, and I've been okay with that for about a year. That's fine.
And prior to that, you weren't. You were like, I have to feed the ego here.
I need to beat some heads.
Yeah.
I need to bash some heads. I need to be top dog. And then I realized, I put the ego aside, and I realized, me as a human being, as a person, creates more value than... don't get me wrong, we write a good amount, but me as a human being, what I can offer and impart into somebody is far greater than what number I hit. Right. So that was one. I've had that for about a year. Two is the fear and the clarity of, look, I have it like compliance keeps me up at night. And we're pretty good compliant, but it keeps me up at night. That's been hard for me to get past, to trust somebody else where I'm not the guy looking at it, right? That's a bottleneck issue. To do that. And the trigger point for me to actually decide again was probably the last week or two. It's kept coming back up in conversation.
Just more frequently, like that this was the solution to whatever the problem you're feeling.
More frequently, there's other brokers in other businesses that are willing to call me and ask me things. I'm like, you know what, I can probably just do this for some of my own people. I can't do that. So the value of growing somebody is started to outweigh the fear. The fear's still there on my trust in somebody else with my business.
I don't know if you'd look good in their yellow pajamas, mate. I don't know if they'd suit you.
No, that's right. So look, I don't think there's been one trigger point, but it's just been, I've just been met with the same kind of like answer in my head. I keep coming back to it. So I think I've got a lot more clarity recently, and I've got more clarity because recently my cup's been burnt out. Like the cup's been empty, so now I've been like, why does this keep happening? So I think I've gotten to that point now where I want to be able to give it, not giving of my time and energy, but be able to give my time and energy into people rather than a task.
And build the people up around the business. Yeah. So, Corey's not the hero to the story anymore.
Correct.
Everyone's the hero to their own story. Correct. And your job's to build them up, make them that hero.
Yeah, I want to give time and energy to people, not time and energy into a deal. Into a task.
Yeah, love. Mate, when over this past 4-year journey, you've moved really fast. Was there any moments that you thought it was hitting and you were gaining traction and things started to take off?
Yeah, we've had at least once a year we've had like a really big turning point where it's like, oh, we're going in the right direction. For us, it's kind of been, we're heading the right direction. It's been 24 steps forward, and then it's like, oh, then there's 5 or 6 steps back. Yeah, kind of thing. This year's been unique in the sense that there's no fires. So we've had growth. Like, I build it to a point where things break and there's fires, there's people complaining, there's people not happy. That hasn't happened.
What, in the past 6 months?
No, that hasn't happened. We'd hit December, January, February, and it was like the world caught fire. That hasn't happened this year. There was a certain system that caught fire this year, but not us. And that was different, right?
That was external. That wasn't external. Something that you guys...
But that's like, and again, it's been the right cattle. That's the first time we've had that new team. They all started like April last year, dude. And then our numbers were up 160% or something like that.
So there was a direct correlation between having the right team members on board, correct, the performance going up, correct, and the stress of the performance going down.
Correct.
Yeah, love.
Yeah.
Love. Mate, what is the biggest difference in your mind at 10 mil a month or compared to 30 mil a month?
Feels the same.
It feels the same.
Feels the same.
Really? Let's dive into that, mate, because if you're at 30 mil a month, right? Now, you imagine a broker who's at 10 and they might look at 30 and things might be on fire like you spoke about before. And they might be like, fuck getting to 30. I don't even want it. But you're like, it feels exactly the same. Why do you think that is?
I think because we hired extra arms and legs in each department before we were at the numbers. So we were overstaffed. Right. So we've done that again to go, well, now we want to crack more. So having an extra arm and leg, and actually I have to shout him out, Will Lockett uses that term. He goes, Corey, you need an extra arm and leg. If you want to grow, you need an extra arm and leg. And that costs money.
It does cost money.
It does cost money, but makes you money.
And do you think there's a tipping point where the volumes are getting up and they're getting consistent and the trail's building out where you can afford to, as Will Lockett says, get the arms and the legs?
Yeah, I think, well, because we were so terrible beforehand, we're at the point now where I don't even, I know that the business guy, this is my...
Your business fund. He's going to hate whatever you say next. He's going to hate.
I don't think about money anymore.
I knew it.
We need to hire this person. He goes, all right. He's saying yes more now. I wonder why. Maybe because there's money in the
bank.
No, it has. Yeah, for us, it's if you're hitting those numbers consistently, because for us it was always feast or famine. So we'd have a good month, bad month, good month, bad month, good month, bad month. So for now, it's just been, well, how do we know we need to hit these amounts per day, per month, per week? So the tipping, I think it's hard to say potentially go broke, right? Because I don't think I did things the right way when I started. I've always, whenever I make a decision just to do something, I do it at my detriment. Right? I'm not saying you should do that. I'm not saying you should do that. And we also had another business that was able to fund.
The other business was doing really well, so I could cash flow if there was ever a burden.
Correct.
Yep.
But just getting if you're writing 10 million, you got 2 people, get a third. It's I think that's the biggest thing. If you can have extra, because things go wrong. Like if I explain what happened in my business the last 4 weeks, I've had someone get a tumor, someone's husband cheated on them, someone go to hospital, someone's dog died, another person in hospital. Domestic violence, things happen in your business. And when you get to a point where you're having 30 people, there's lots of things going to happen.
The odds of something happening are higher because there's just more bums on seats.
You're going to have the same thing at some point with 2 people in your business. And then you're always going to be in this position where I'm doing 12 hours again. So have an extra arm or leg. It'll save you money in the long run because something like that will happen. People's life doesn't stop for anybody. So
I've got a good question for you then. So obviously there's lots of conversation about tech and AI and what's coming into the mortgage industry, but it sounds to me like you're of the belief that it's still a laborious business that requires bums on seats to get deals done.
Yeah.
What's your thought process around that, mate?
I think it does require it, and I hope it kind of stays that way.
Love.
To be honest with you. If I have one more person talk to me about like AI, I'll be like, we can't do anything with it at the moment. There's so I think in 12 months we're going to know more in our industry because it's so regulated, right? So for me, I've put it out of my mind in kind of the last 2 months, but I was really obsessed with it for a period of time.
I remember you were deep in the rabbit hole.
I know, and I am still in the rabbit hole in the sense that I think I think it'll go too far, and then the people that are thinking they're going to make money go, oh, there's AI's taking over everything. There's no workforce. There's been companies now that sacked everybody 2 years ago that are now rehiring everybody because AI is too expensive to run and it's not where it needs to be, and they've started losing clients. So I do think I'm kind of in this position of I want it to take away a little bit, but until the cyber issue, until the data thing becomes more secure, I kind of just want it to be... Mortgage broking wasn't broken 4 years ago when we didn't have it.
Nah. It worked when we had to fax the lodgements and you had to...
Some would say it worked better. Like some would say that worked better back then.
Fucking drive to someone's house, a couple of CBA docs, do you know what I mean? You could do it.
I think we need to have our finger on the pulse. And I'm a big fan of things like Marlu. I think that's probably the tech that's recently changed so much more. You can do a lot in Marlu than you can in other kind of transcribing tools. That saves you hours as a mortgage broker because it can do your broker notes how you want it. It can do your post emails, like after you've done a call. It saves you 45 minutes a deal. So if you're building a team and you have other team, like I can just have a conversation, upload those notes, and I move on. And I think you'll find a lot of the CRMs, like I think I got a lot more enlightened in the last few weeks where a lot of aggregators want to do this, but there's businesses in a lot of trouble because they've gone too far into it. So we just got to wait, I think. But I do think I think eventually it'll become bank first broker again.
You think it's going to go back to, because brokers obviously winning the war, 81% of wherever we're sitting at now, it's record. Do you think banks are going to come fighting back, Corey?
On tech.
Is that because they've just got the data and they can say, hey, every day you're pre-approved for X amount of dollars?
I think it depends what happens with open banking, how good it can work. Because the data's going to be there, everyone will have the data, you'll tick yes, and then someone will go, yeah, you can do this loan, here's the loan. Dude, what do you want? So I think that's, a decade. Right now, mortgage broking isn't broken. I think with tech, it should be, what's the lowest hanging fruit? If you can save 2 hours on a deal, that's great. I honestly think if I could have tech do everything for me, I don't think I'd sack a single person.
What would they do?
I don't know, but I wouldn't sack them. Maybe we'll just, I don't know. I think I think it's a conversation that's coming up too much, and that's because maybe I want to live in denial because I don't like where tech's going. Maybe I want to start because I was very fearful of it a few weeks. I'm like, I think this is going to be bad because I do think it will be.
Just for humanity at large.
Humanity, and I think for mortgage brokers, if it keeps going that way, yeah.
Yeah, it's a fine line, isn't it?
I'm glad the regulators are starting to question it in finance. I don't know if you want to cut this part out, but
no, we're not cutting nothing. We're not cutting nothing out. We have to have these conversations. You know what I mean?
I can chase every shiny rabbit, or I can call the customer. If I was sitting in front of a broker, hey, that's cool. You're complaining about and don't get me wrong, tech's important, and tech's going to keep improving. Things are going to read pay slips, things like that. There's stuff already out there, and it's going to be very exciting when it's free, when it's access to everybody, because that's coming until there's security, right? But as soon as, what am I going to, if I have a broker, whinging and bitching and moaning at me about, oh, man, this takes so long, I can't, I wish the client would just have to give this and we get all the answers, or just stop complaining about it and call the customer.
Nearly everything can be fixed with a fucking phone call, Corey.
Most things.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I actually agree with you. I still think delivering a home loan is a laborious task.
It is.
And I still think we need hands on decks and bums on seats to get deals done.
Yeah. And I don't think it'll go anywhere.
No. Mate, I've got a couple of questions here for you. I've got a couple of questions that have come from the community.
Mm-hmm.
So not many people know this about you, but you used to be a muso.
Yeah, just have luscious long hair and fringe.
How does a muso end up as a mortgage broker, Corey?
How did I end up as a muso? Everything's on accident. Everything in my life has been a big accident, except for my kids and my wife.
You didn't just stumble to the church one day, like, oh, we're getting married. I didn't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, almost. No, big accident. I was doing music. Again, I'm chaos. I don't practice anything. I never practiced music. I was natural at it.
Hold on. What do you mean you never practiced music? You just picked up a guitar and just started strumming away?
Well, I had 2 lessons, and then I'd just figure it out, and then I'd play with other people that were better than me, which is a good lesson in business.
Yes.
Just played with people better than me, and then I was in their bands, and then I'd be at rehearsal, and I'd be terrible, and then on the night I was killer. And then I'd turn up for things, never practice, and piss everybody off, but then on the night, it's fine. It was great. It's just how I've always done it.
Are you artistic, Corey?
Autistic or artistic?
Artistic, like drawings and creativeness and things like that.
Not in my old age, when I was younger. Yeah. Not so much these days.
Why?
Good question. I think, again, I'll get bored. I get bored very easy. So that's why, when someone's like, hey, can you practice bass? I'll be like, no, I can't.
I'll see you at the show.
Yeah. So if you go, Corey, sit down and draw and just get good at it, not going to happen. But if someone goes, hey, there's 10 of you, and you're going to be on stage and you're going to draw the best picture, and whoever draws the best picture wins 10 grand,
you would do it.
I will do nothing until that day.
So you need some level of competition.
I need pressure.
You need pressure.
That's probably why I go hard for 8 weeks and go, oh, this is boring, and then I have to punch my way out.
So do you think that sometimes, and I don't know if it's true or not, but you might self-sabotage to make something hard because you know that's when you start to perform?
Possibly. Not consciously. I'm not doing it.
No, but subconsciously, it's where it's like, hey, everything's going too well. I'm going to burn something here, so it puts me in the corner, and then I'm going to come back and make it better.
Yeah, possibly, mate. I've done it forever. School assignments. We just talked about it. If I was running a conference, I'd probably leave it.
It's 2 days.
2 days beforehand. Where's it go? Where are we going, Corey? I don't know. Let's start calling people. Right. But I don't expect that of other people. So I have a high expectation of other people, and those type of things for me, it's just how I've always been. And that's why I built the team to go, if you've asked Corey to do something, or if you need something from Corey, you're going to have to ask 3 or 4 times.
Are the people around you in life, your wife even, do you know what I mean? Are they largely more organised than you are, as a person?
Yeah.
What happens when you're in a relationship with someone, a work relationship, a friendship of any nature, right? And they're chaotic and you're chaotic. What sort of result does it produce? I'm
probably, when there's 2 chaotic people, I know I've got to be the adult.
Oh, so you're just...
So I'll never, I think I've learnt when I need to be not chaotic. So one thing, I used to be late everywhere. So now I make sure, sometimes I'm way too early because I'm scared I'm going to get there too late. When I have an early morning flight, I might I get to 10 o'clock, maybe I don't sleep because I know I'll be up, right? So I have a weird mentality around some of that stuff. So I'll for people that I know that are like me, I'll text them 20 times and be like, hey, you up? You up? Are you up? Are you up?
Really? So you'll take the role of the organised person if there's another chaotic person there?
It's just blunt force organisation, though. It's not Like you're gonna get verbally abused by Corey in a jokingly way if you're not there on time, and I'll give you a hard time for 2 days about it. But yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's weird.
How much of business do you think's in the head, mate?
Mine,
Everyone's.
lot. Most people, I would say, unless you get those super organized people that like everything's just like everything. Like okay, I need to call a person. And I need one of my staff to call a person, something to do with words. I need one of my staff to call somebody. So before I get them to call that person, I'm going to have a 20-step plan on what they should be saying and how they're going to have the conversation. Where I think for me, it's no plan. It's just call somebody. So I think everybody's got different forms of what's in their head. But you'll have some of those people where everything's got to be on paper first. But I think most people sit in the left where it all sits in our brain.
It's really interesting talking about this, mate, because it's like I don't feel like someone could come in and copy you verbatim or copy anyone else verbatim and achieve the same result, because there's some level of they have to do business in a way that's like true to their intrinsic self, if that sort of makes sense.
Yeah, well, that's why there's no fear. Well, for me, that's why there's no fear in sharing what I've learned, what I know, because at the end of the day, that person's got to execute. I can give them every secret. I can give them, same with like people that are copying our niche that haven't had any experience in our niche, want to do that. It's like, well, you can know all these things, but if you don't know how to execute it, you're not going to get the same result. And I think that the same thing in business, mortgage broking, in anything, right? You got to fall over. You got to keep doing it and fall over until you can perfect it.
Well, knowing what to do is like 10% of the work, like doing the things, the other 90%. And that's probably where nearly everyone falls down. It's the execution. It's the implementation. Yeah. It's like it's 10 o'clock at night and you're fucking tired and you want to go to sleep. But there's work to do, so you keep doing it. Yeah. Like you can't teach. No. It doesn't matter how many strategies and tactics you got. Like, can you have the pain threshold to keep going when you're fucking tired or frustrated or angry?
Yeah, no, you got to keep going. Like you got to, if you make that mistake, you got to mentally go, I'm never going to do that again. I'm going to do it, try this way. You might make another mistake doing that. But eventually you'll make enough where you go, all right, I've now got a way, 10 out of 10, I can avoid this. Right?
There's 10 ways to not do the thing.
Yeah.
I've got to test this next one.
I don't think there's any, like, I think that's why I'm such a bad coach. That's why I'm totally such a bad educator. Maybe not coach, but so I'm such a bad educator because like just go in and try. So I've had, and this is where I learned where I need people that help staff, because I've had some staff go, Corey, I can't learn that way. Where I'll go, hey, just try this servicing, but I don't know what to do. Yeah, I want to see what you do, but they don't know where to start, right? So I know that works for me, and that's why I'm a bad educator, because I can't go in and go, okay, so if you're sitting in front of us, payslip, this is where I'm really bad at some of those. I've had to learn to probably be a little bit better at those things.
Where like your learning style, do you feel it's like, figure it out, fuck it up and figure it out? That was the masterclass, actually. Yeah. I didn't do that on purpose. Yeah. But some people don't learn in that manner you're saying, is that they need to be shown or taught or outlined or something along those lines.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Because if you put some people in a pressure cooker, they crumble. Right. For me, if you put me under pressure and you go, this, if you do this is what it's going to mean, and this is how long you've got.
And that's where we get the best results out of Corey.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. But Sam might not get the best results in a pressure cooker, or someone else.
The rest of my team doesn't have that same thing.
Okay.
So they put the pressure cooker on me for me to do stuff. I'm pretty good at like not putting up. I've always thought that was the best way to learn, and then recently I've been like, that's not how you're going to learn.
Do you feel like you've changed a lot as a person since you started the business?
Yeah.
What do you think, if you had to put that down to one or two things, what they would be?
I think I do make some smarter decisions. Mm-hmm. Like I take a second now to make a decision. I think that's been largely to mistakes I've made, but also because my business partner, because he wants me to think a certain way, right? But I also push stuff on him that he needs to do that I do well, right? But I think I make decisions better. Like I think I can make fiscal decisions better, and because my solution previously was like throw people at the problem, not figure out what the problem is.
Mm.
So I think I've learned those things, a bit more mature in decision making.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned to let things go. Yeah.
In what form?
In the form of like because I'm a bit of a people pleaser at the same time. So like if I had somebody that was upset, like a referrer or something, I'm like, oh no, the end of the world. But if they're upset now, I just go, and I shrug my shoulders. If it's something we can control, we'll change it. If it's something we can't control, I'll just say this is what happened.
So the problem's still the problem, but the way that the weight of it for you has changed. The bigger problems feel smaller in comparison. Correct. Because of the journey that you've been on. Love. Mate, what does make a successful business partnership?
You need two different people.
Yeah, 100%.
You need two different people. If you have the same, if you had two Corys, it'd be very bad.
Not that it wouldn't work; it would be very bad.
It genuinely would be. I know, but look, I know that I've had to get better on some other things around like the books and like how we do things and all that stuff. I've definitely improved. Am I there? No. He also has to go. I'm really good at leading people and really good at building relationships and how to talk to people, and not that he can't do those things. He's quite good at some of those things. He doesn't give himself enough credit. But we both have different perspectives on either side. I'm feelings and vibes. He's facts and numbers. So we've been friends for a long time. So even what makes successful, I used to feel like everything he said was an attack.
You used to feel that everything he said was an attack?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where in his mind, it was, no, I want to make the business better. I'm just saying this to you because I want you to think about it.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't say that. So I'd be defensive. So now I've learned what makes successful relationships in business, I think, is meeting halfway and both knowing how you communicate. So if I know he's doing that, I know I don't have to answer right this second. I can answer at the end of the day, or I can answer tomorrow. And I know that his intention isn't to bring me down. His intention is to, are you thinking about these things? And he wants to validate himself that we're thinking about these things. Because he does a lot more on the accounting side than I do. And vice versa, right? He now knows, this situation where Corey's cup gets empty, this happens once a quarter. All right, Corey, you need to...
We've got it on a timer.
Yeah, no, like we've talked about it recently. Like, all right, Corey, you need to, every 2 months, you're taking 5 days off or something like that, right? Or you know what? Let's cancel the morning meetings. You can start work at 11 o'clock. You go do, so we've had conflict multiple times, and we still do occasionally, but it's a lot more cohesive now because we've now figured out what he says, he actually wants the best for the business, and what I'm doing, I want the best for the business. So we've kind of had that we go into those conversations with that's the intention. Like that's his heart, that's my heart. So now we know that we're on the same alignment. So we answer different.
How long did it take to get to that level of alignment where it was tolerable and less painful? Because it's never going to be perfect.
About a year ago.
And you guys were in business for 3 years leading up to that point?
We had a previous business unsuccessful as well, right? Not mortgage broking, but we had previous business dealings, but we've known each other for a long time. Like we're both high school together. What it was, mate, we actually had a bit of a come to Jesus moment with each other on I'm like, why are you being such a prick? And he's like, because for me, it was this period of time where we just hired all the new staff and the team had improved. We'd gotten rid of people. But he was like, the results aren't there. I'm like, yeah, because I've just been training. That doesn't matter. So remember black or white where I'm like feelings and vibes, right? Yeah. I can see it. But it was he was frustrated because of things I wasn't doing. I was frustrated because of things he was doing. And we both, the way he explained when he's saying that he's not actually needing me to have all the answers. It's like he'd prefer me to say, I don't know. So we just figured out that was a better way to communicate. I figured him out a little bit more. I knew him pretty well already. I knew how to deal with him, but there was just an extra layer of this is what he's needing. And he now knows this is what I need. So we go in with everyone's intentions to make the business better, not to bring somebody down. So now we've both learnt that. So if he comes across a little bit direct, he's got his head in a million places. He's just shooting things out. And I know I don't need to even respond that day, but I can just, and vice versa.
And it's not an attack.
I know it's not an attack.
How much of success in a relationship comes down to communication, mate?
All of it. Yeah, we didn't have that come to Jesus moment where we had a bit of a, I'm not going to say a scuffle, but like it was a
cheeky blow up.
Like, you drive me nuts, mate. And he was like, yeah, you're driving me nuts. And until we could go, until we could kind of get like vulnerable with each other, and look, it doesn't help that it was after like 10 or 15 beers, right? In another,
maybe that's what you needed.
In another country. No, we did. It was in another country. We were in the Philippines. We were meeting our staff for the first time. And we just had that moment. After that, we were good.
And the staff rocked up and the bosses are just punching the fuck out of each other on a beach somewhere.
Yeah. It was after we'd met them, thankfully. We'd gotten some fried chicken after 10 or 15 drinks. No, like it needed to happen.
Yeah.
And we now know, like, if we get to that point, we know we need to have that conversation, but it hasn't, and we've had some other conversations, but it's much more collaborative rather than I say something, he says something, I say something, he says something.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, you're right, or this, or, so it's more collaborative, I would say.
Love. Mate, you mentioned your ideal clients or your niche before.
Yeah.
Who is your ideal client?
Yeah, it's become a little bit more defined recently. Look, we want to deal with investors.
Mm-hmm.
That's been my specialty. I'm no good at first home buyers. I don't have the patience.
Yep.
We're really, women don't like me for some reason, so there seem to be blokes in mid-20s, early 30s, most of them.
What have you done, Corey? What did you do?
It's the hair. No. The niche has been any investor. So we definitely have women that work in our business. We treat them really well. But I've noticed on social media it's a lot of blokes.
Yeah.
We've become really passionate on investors or anyone looking to get into property, and typically investing has to be the start for people. Now, things are just too expensive to go buy the dream home. So we're really passionate about young investors building wealth through property. That's our niche. Yeah.
How do you feel about all the current government changes that are happening? Obviously, just before we got in this, they announced no more SMSF for resi.
Yeah.
They've, at the start of the year, started culling the trust lending. They've done some other spicy shit with the budget a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
What's your take on what property investment looks like in Australia?
Obviously, I think there's a lot of people. I think there's a lot of people doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not going to go into it, but there's people doing that. Like, this is really targeted at people doing the wrong thing. Right. And I think it's targeted on. I think there are some people that are building property portfolios potentially too aggressively. There are people that are going from 1 to 5 or 6 in 1 year, and they don't even know what the cash flow is going to look like, and that's dangerous. So that's one aspect. I think what they're doing, the economists don't think it's going to be realised for 20 years. You're skipping a whole generation.
What do you mean?
The stats are, in this current budget change, it will work, but we will not see the result properly for 20 years.
The result on property prices or on tax revenue?
Property prices.
So they're going to remain stagnant for 20 years?
Well, we're not going to see, the desired outcomes in 20 years.
Really? So it's a generation away from getting what they want?
So our kids,
yeah,
same problem. They're going to have to wait till they're 40, right? Well, maybe not 40. They're going to be 30 until they can buy something. Now, that's great, but there's going to skip a whole generation.
What's going to skip a whole generation?
People buying property.
Really? So you think there's going to be less
Well, how do
there's property investors coming into the marketplace?
Well, they reckon there's going to be an extra 75,000 first home buyers in 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are starting with the investor. I can't afford this house, so I'm going to buy an investment property to get ahead. People's borrowings disappearing with negative gearing being gone because that was always added back into the servicing. So now you're going to have less people be able to buy. But here's the thing. I think it gets reversed.
You think it's going to get reversed?
I think they're going to get voted out. They're going to get voted. I would be shocked. I'd be shocked. And the current people running in parties have already said that they'll reverse it, even a major party. So I don't think it's something that's ongoing. They've already shown their hand and backflipped on capital gains tax a little bit in businesses last week. I think they'll just put it to a vote and you see what changes. In fact, make every PAYG person pay their own tax, not a business owner, and watch how people vote.
I'm going to have a civil war, mate.
Yeah, well, mate, look, here's the thing. I spent a lot of time with it mentally a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Just move on. Still help people. Have transactions stopped? Have they slowed down? Yeah, but have they stopped? No, we're still having conversations with people that want to do stuff.
Surely human nature is to want to get ahead.
Yeah.
Do you know? Especially in Australia because, like, everyone comes here largely from other places.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? And they've all come here for a better life for them and their kids and their grandkids, et cetera, as time goes on. And so that ambition to produce a better life, I don't know if they can be killed off by tax law.
I think, look, no one likes it, but I think people just need to move on. Kind of like the AI thing. That's kind of where I'm at now, right? Like, let's stop talking about it. Don't keep. I mean, there's people advocating it. Keep advocating. But me as a mortgage broker, I just need to do more activity. I need to be on the phone more. I need to have more meetings. I need to be talking to new clients. I need to get in front of more new people. Just means more numbers. But we're still going to be able to help people. Like there's going to be some people where they've come up a bit short and they have to stop. But there's still going to be new people. There's new people having deposits every day that'll need to do something.
So play on.
Play on. What is like a person earning 150,000 can't buy in Sydney anyway, unless you're buying a 1-bedroom unit. So the strategy is still the same. You're going to have to get ahead. No one has a right to buy a property in Sydney.
Nah, Sydney's expensive, man.
Sydney's expensive. No one has the right to. You can live here, but start buying. Just get in the market. Like I think the number is if you buy a property at 25, 550, by the time you're 65, it's going to be worth 7 million. You just need to buy one. I don't think the strategy changes. Just buy. So I think that's my mentality around it recently.
I think something that I love that what you said just then, mate, is basically control the controllables, your activity. It's really at the end of the day, it's the only factor that any individual has any influence on is what the fuck they get up and they do every single day. Everything else is largely outside of their control.
Yeah.
Have you always had that thought process? Is that something that's developed over time?
Yeah, no, well, yeah, like I've always been someone that's had to make something happen. Everything I fell into is by accident, but then every time I've excelled, it's because I've had to, and that's activity in any which way, shape, or form. It's activity. Is it more social media posts? Is it calling your back book? Is it buying someone else's book and calling them? Is it there's so many things that brokers can still do today. You just need to be busy and get on the phone. And this is why I don't think AI is going to change the world tomorrow, because if I get a message, I know it's AI. Someone calls me repetitively, I'll answer, and they'll get one or two things: abuse, or you've got me at a good time. Right? You hooked me, you got me at a good time, let's talk about it.
So even you as the consumer, you don't mind a couple of cheeky phone calls coming from a vendor trying to tell you something?
I'll ignore it. And then sometimes you'll catch me, right? And sometimes you'll catch me. But like, I'm a terrible customer. Like emails, what's that? Like, I'm a terrible customer. So I don't think all those things, you need to be doing all those things. Just get on the phone, call your back book. You haven't spoken to someone for a few years, call them. Call them, text them, show them what you can do. Your rate's 7, I can get you 6.5. Text them if they don't answer. Like, just more activity. So that's all you can do.
100%. 100%. Mate, you were just talking about the do more content, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Where does all the business come from at Source?
Yeah, content's relatively new for me, around February this year. Historically, it's been a lot of referrers and then client referrers. Content for us is starting to work. Like we probably, I was counting before. This month's about 30 leads through content.
It's pretty good.
That's a mixture of ads, and that's been a mixture of social media. And I'm not even counting the clients that have re-engaged us, because I found that our content has re-engaged our existing clientele.
Yes.
So like when we talk about more activity, it's calls and that. So some of them have seen it, and then I've called them and they're going, oh, I saw this. Had an email last night. Hi, Corey, you plugged your accounting business on the podcast. What are your fees? I go, I don't know. Here's Daniel. So like that's been really big for us. So where is it going to go? Like again, I don't go like like I said, I always kind of go to the extremes at my detriment. So my headspace is, well, I've hired someone in the business, and I'll make that a full department.
A social media department.
Marketing
media. Department. Love. Because
I don't do anything by halves. Because I was getting real pissed off with like how much I was spending on podcast studios.
It's funny because Corey's here tomorrow.
And I'm in Port Macquarie, so there are none there. But
supply and demand, brother.
But I was paying like a guy to edit video, like edit shorts, and I was paying a guy to give me ideas, and then I was doing the studio, and then it was becoming $15,000 a month.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it adds up.
So I was like, oh, I can probably pay someone less than that full time. I found a local young dude. And again, he's a guy that he's got a young family, but he wants to build his life. And I'm like, well, let's build some revenue and you can get upside. And when I talk about all my other businesses and the other business I want to start, that'll just feed those things. So I kind of get a little bit like extreme when I make the decision. But where do I see it going? I'm not sure. We're just going to keep doing things, keep trying stuff. And
Mate, tell me about the Fat Profits podcast, mate.
Yeah, 15th episode.
Yep.
Tomorrow's 16th episode. Interviewing a few people tomorrow as well. The Fat Profits podcast is pretty well centered around property and finance. I do have an end more there, so it is for business owners and for sports people that do anything kind of worth noting.
Yeah.
So we've been trialing and testing a few things. So if you were to watch all our podcasts, they all are very, very different. I've wanted to do it for a couple of years, but I just couldn't come up with a name that was like not lame. Like I kept looking, I'm like, oh, everyone's got Australian investment podcast. Everyone's got Australian investment property. Everyone, like it was all these names and I just couldn't come up with one. And I wanted it to be pretty laid back. I wanted to show our personality. I kind of wanted us to be silly billies because that's naturally who I am. And Ben told me to eat a fat one. And I was like, because everyone just thinks it's because I'm fat, so I'll call it Fat Profits Podcast. But he told me to eat a fat one. I'm like, oh, Fat Profits. And it just went from there. And I made a decision one week, and the next week I was recording.
It was on.
Yeah, like naturally, like with everything I do, it's just like I made a decision. That's what I'm doing. Anyone who gives me advice is going to get ignored because I'm just going to do it. Right?
But you guys were fucking with some cows at a farm, and then you were eating pasta at an Italian restaurant. What the fuck's going on here, Corey?
So we started another series called Look at This Property, which is a separate show, but it's a podcast. So again, I'm focusing on our region, which is Newcastle, Coffs Harbour, because I'm a coast boy. I'm actually a Sydney boy, and I just migrated.
Migrated?
Yeah, I got a new passport and went over the Newcastle Bridge. So we got Fat Profits Podcast, which is going to be, they hear us talk about finance specifically. They hear us talk to other people. We're talking about what we're seeing, what's happening in the market, what are our predictions, all those types of things. And one of our punishments as well, I had to eat 20 Wheat Bix because I got it wrong that petrol wouldn't fall under $2. So
you had to eat 20 Wheat Bix.
Yeah.
Did you get to put honey on it or something at least?
I got to 15 and vomited.
Oh, This is fucking terrible.
Yeah, Ben. So again, I wanted a podcast that isn't serious, but shows our expertise. But we're just, we're just being us.
Being normal humans. Love.
And I also wanted to be able to put on my spin on some investment stuff as well. And look at this property as well. Hey, let's showcase local areas between Newcastle and Coffs. Food review, some decent properties, maybe talk to a real estate agent, and just why is that area special? Could it be a good investment or a good first home buyer location, and why? So it's kind of 2 shows now.
And you're going to keep it geographically centered around that coast region?
I'm going to dive right in to the mid-north coast between Newcastle and Coffs, and just my face be everywhere.
And how was that Italian restaurant the other day?
It was really good. It was really good. I'm still awkward, like filming in public.
Oh, yeah?
So this guy have a camera and I got microphones, and there's people looking at me like, this is like, because I'm anti-cringe, right?
Yeah.
I hate stuff with cringe. So if I saw somebody doing the same thing, like, hey, they losers. So I struggle with it, but it's been good. That young guy's had a lot of creativity around it. So it's we're just trying things. We're just trying to have fun with it, because if we're not going to have fun with it,
what's the point of doing it?
It's not going to be good. And it's re-engaged a lot of clients I haven't spoken to for a couple of years, even without me having a call. So it's a lot of people asking me, like, I think more people are starting to see, people are going, is it still worth investing because negative gearing is gone? So there's conversation.
That's a massive question.
Yeah.
That's a massive question. If a client rings you up and they say, hey, Corey, is it still worth investing because of the negative gearing changes? Yeah. How does that conversation flow for you, mate?
Well, I say to them, so your goal is to lose money on every deal? They go, no. I said, so why are you worried about negative gearing? Let's get it profitable. That's the goal is never negative gearing, unless you're someone that earned $500,000 a year, or what like a young guy earning like $80K. Why do you want to get negative gearing?
It's not that much benefit at $80K anyway. It doesn't fucking mean anything.
No. So let's get it profitable. The conversation has changed. Like, I've never talked about principal and interest more in my life than I ever have. And the reason
for investors.
Well, the reason I'm so, like, accountants hate me for it. My own business hates me for it. But I want them to be profitable, right? So, okay, pay principal and interest for a few years. You're going to be negative anyway. Rents are probably going to go up. Convert it interest only later, and you're going to be positively geared. So some of those conversations are coming up to kind of go, because you never expect a deal to be profitable from day one in this day and age where the rates are. So how do you get it there faster?
And so that's the approach that you're going to take now. And
the only approach. It's one. If you got a person that's like, risk appetite's low. Okay, well, if you want to pay some of it off, let's do that, and you'll get it profitable. And it's less risk when you eventually go again for the second property.
Well, I wonder if you get this stagnation of actual property prices staying still for a little while.
It will slow down. But yeah, it will. You're already seeing it.
You're already seeing it, but then you're not going to get rent slowing down. Do you know what I mean? That you can't change that with tax, and maybe you get it to the point where fucking yields start to make sense again. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I remember when I first bought my first property at 18, and like you were getting 5 or 6%, and that was Sydney Northern Beaches apartments and shit. Do you know what I mean? You get half of that today.
You're creating wealth just by sitting there.
Yeah, literally, just by owning the thing. You
have to work a bit harder, and you have to put a bit more money into it. And I think I'm okay with it slowing down a little bit. Right? Like, hurts me, but like at the end of the day, it's fine. People that have already done it have won, right? So yeah, the conversation has been, well, if the goal is negative gearing, then don't invest. If the goal was positively geared property, then
what's the difference?
Let's go.
Yeah, you're on fire. You're on fire, mate. You just spent last week at the SFG conference down in Adelaide. It's the top brokers over at SFG there. Mm-hmm. What are some of the biggest takeouts that you have from hanging out for 3-4 days at a time with fucking guns?
Yeah. A lot of clarity.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of clarity. There was a bit of, again, I probably went into it with my cup a little bit empty. I've said that a few times today, that the cup was a little bit empty. But I came out of it with like, what's great about this younger generation of mortgage brokers? And when I say younger, I mean our age, or not that young.
I was going to say, I feel old. I feel fucking old, Corey. I don't know what's going on here.
Story, and like, in any other world, a guy that has 160 staff almost could tell me to piss off and not talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got all these business owners that are willing to give to each other, and this is what I do. And even me, I was able to go, well, I do fee for service. This is what I do, right? And there are other people that are bigger than me go, now I'm going to do that, right? And there's just openness and sharing. What system do you use? How do you do it? What conversation do you have? There was I came out of it thinking with like clarity and with the cup empty. One of them was like, why haven't you called me? I'm like, oh, I don't know why I haven't called you. So I came out of it just thinking, to be at the top, generosity, time, treasures, and talents is far better than the number you write, which is why I'm back on that pathway of, okay, I'm going to get brokers in because now I can give that to other brokers. So that was one thing. Number two, everyone's got the same problems.
Everyone's got the same problems.
Everyone's got the same problems, just like at a different level, but everyone's fundamentally trying to drive the same results, and everyone's getting the business to a certain point, and the similar problems start to arrive, and that problem is going to be people, systems, economics, numbers. Everyone's got the same 4 problems if you're building a business. So everyone's always overcoming a problem. Everyone's always overcoming something. And that was very encouraging to kind of go, well, I'm not the only person that has, like, I can talk to somebody, right? So that was like, it wasn't anything like mind-blowing, but I just thought, well, what a generous industry we have.
Do you reckon that is intrinsic to the mortgage industry where people help each other a lot?
I don't think so. I think it's starting to become more frequent, because I was at a dinner in Port Macquarie. There's another broker part of your community and another broker that's not a part of your community. And they were like, what private lender do you use? Oh, I took a long time building those relationships. And we're like, oh, okay. So you don't want to share? Nah.
No, just flat out would say no.
But that's the older generation where I don't find that conversation now. The conversation's like, no, well, this has worked for me. This is what I did here. This is the conversation I have. I think it's become more generous over time.
Yeah, because I feel like I feel like brokers have always sort of helped each other a lot. In comparison, like I came from the smash repair industry. Do you know what I mean? Where I don't think there was that. I didn't feel like there was that sort of open sharing of knowledge that we've got. Mate, how important is it for you in business to be in these rooms with these other really high performers?
I think it's very important. And I'm not good at explaining what the feeling was last week. Right. So that's why I have trouble explaining what can I take away from it. I took a lot away from it, but it's incredibly important. And I don't know many other aggregators that put that opportunity together.
No,
we don't have to pay for it.
No, they do such a good job.
And I feel very grateful because those guys writing so much more than me there. Right? And I'm sure there was other people that felt the same way. But you come out of it with some deeper connections. Like you're in the trenches now with some other business owners.
You mentioned before that the problems, everyone's facing the same problems.
Yeah.
Do the problems, even though they're the same, look different at different tiers of scale?
I think it does, yeah. Yeah.
So fundamentally it's the same problem, but the way it presents itself is different depending.
I think the feeling's the same.
The feeling's the same because you adjust.
You adjust, right?
Yeah.
So if it was Corey 2 years ago dealing with the same problems of today, it'd be diabolical, right? But when I come up with those problems now, it feels diabolical, but I can, it's like the elastic band, right? You get the small elastic band, you put enough pencils in it, it breaks, so now a new elastic band goes on where you can fit more in.
Yes.
That shouldn't do that movement. I look like a
I
think it's the elastic band theory. Like the bigger your capacity is, the more your band breaks and you just get a bigger band.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's just what it becomes. I think that's the same. People deal with the same problems at a different level, but it feels the same at the time because that band is stretching.
And so even if people are right at the start of their journey, the problems what might for you feel not very big today feels massive to them because they haven't done it yet. They haven't broken through that threshold. But then over time, in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, the problems that feel big today for them might feel like water off a duck's back.
That's right. That's why I say 5 and 10 million doesn't feel any different to 30.
Right. So it's if the things were hard at 10, the things are hard at 30.
It's going to keep being hard.
It's going
to. I think I used to think, it'll be better it'll be easier when we hit. It doesn't. It doesn't
get easier.
No. Sorry. Well, for me anyway.
Sorry, you're going to issue a formal apology.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone. It's always hard.
You ask for more. You ask for more. It comes with more.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you like, I could right now go, all right, I'm just going to write 2 million a month and just be Corey. That's the only time a mortgage broker doesn't have to deal with as much.
It is if you go back, to somewhere you've already been. If you go back to the start, yes.
You go back to the start. But at the time, oh gosh, I've got to do all these AOLs and do all them. Like, oh, cool, Corey, that's 4 deals for the month. Why aren't you playing golf every day?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But at the time, it was like my capacity was just, at an all-time low, right? But now my capacity is so much higher. The elastic band is so much larger. If that were to happen again, right, it'd be different.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy because it's like, if you start at 0 and you get to 2 mil a month, 2 mil a month feels full on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you're breaking all the barriers to get there.
Yeah.
But if you're at 20 mil a month and then you do a 2 mil month, you would feel that you wrote almost nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there must be this toughening of the mental load or something. I don't know how it fucking works, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right. I got some cracking questions. Here for you, mate. All right. With everything that you've learned from starting the business up until today, if you had to do one thing differently, what would you do differently?
I would have hired different at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have. Look, I had an issue saying no. So I had referrers that just wanted to throw so many deals at me, and these are referrers that could have other brokers too, right? So it's not like they're just sending stuff to me.
Were they bigger than you?
Huge.
Okay.
Huge. I had this fear of like, if I say no, they'll never do it again. But no would have been healthier for the business because I could have had a bit more. I would have grown just as fast, but it would have been less. I'm not going to say stressful, but less detrimental to everybody in the business, and I could have built things. So not saying no earlier was the first. I think I could have done things differently there.
Do you think the growth was detrimental because it was a referral partner and you didn't have control over the volume the way that you would with paid ads or something like that?
Correct. And they were okay with me saying I can't take more.
Oh, okay. So
it was in my head.
It was in your head.
They would say that, but in my head they're like, no. Like they'll think I'm because for me I was always like my personality's always been like, nah, put me under pressure, I'll figure it out.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I think not saying let me build enough capacity or ability for the team to be able to do this.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the biggest mistake I made at the beginning.
What does the future look like for Corey and Source?
Yeah. The next 12, I think 12 to 18 months, I'll put the flag up. The flag will go in the sand, and I'll stop writing loans.
Mm-hmm.
The accounting businesses just keep plugging along. And then we have some other ambitions in the finance industry as well, around mortgage management and all those types of things. So we have some ambition around there. That's only very at beginning stages, but still a couple of years off. But in terms of Source, I would probably like to be up to 50 million a month.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like, I'd like it to probably maintain 30.
Mm-hmm.
I'm overstretching. If I'm getting other brokers on, if I can maintain 30 million a month, I'd be happy.
So maintain 30 million a month, but reduce percentage of Corey allocating or attributing to that 30 mil a month.
Correct.
And then once Corey's at 0%, then you can go to the from 30 to 50 because that's 4 more brokers
Correct.
or 3 more brokers or whatever it might be.
Yep, correct.
What does the mortgage management idea look like for you, mate?
I don't know yet.
I thought about it just now on the podcast.
No. It's been a thought from the beginning.
Oh, it has. It's always been something that's
been
on
in
your
my
mind.
head
Yeah,
from the
okay.
beginning, particularly, like, you know, the stuff in terms of investment background for me is development. So that's where I've been passionate. Development hasn't made money in Australia since COVID, basically.
Yeah, fuck.
So for me, it's always kind of been that. It's an element of, you know, Corey's probably going to be bored and needs something else to do. But I'd like to build some type of brand around that and then eventually have our own funding. But I think that's a couple of years, and I think the funding lines will be, you know, 5 years. So it's not a tomorrow plan.
We've got to get you back on the podcast in 5 years to see how it all panned out, mate. You can tell us about mortgage management and funding lines.
I'm very excited about mortgage management. I'd like to be some type of third tier. I'm very passionate about the third tier space. It's where we do a lot of our deals.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, we do a lot of deals there now. Well, more so this year. But I'm very passionate about it, and
it's a growing arena.
Yeah. I just want to. I think, look, even if we weren't doing that, as long as I'm growing and I'm seeing people win, then I'm happy.
Love.
Then I'm happy.
Love. All right. Ooh, this is a fucking good one. This one's going to be hard. How have you juggled building a successful business and raising a young family at the same time?
Oh. That's a tough one, mate, because there are a lot of days I feel like I'm not doing it well. And I think every business person has that feeling.
Yes.
Like you got to have a partner that's on the same page. It comes down to communication, right? Same as what I explained with my business partner. It was a conversation, right? If you've got a couple that's not, it's the same way. Look, you've been in finance. How many couples don't budget? How many times do you talk about?
Basically, no one budgets.
Basically, nobody, right? So it's the same thing with that in terms of, well, if I need to sit down with my wife every week and talk about our budget and our money, we need to sit down and talk about everything else as well. And I know that we haven't done that enough when there's tension, right? So sometimes there needs to be a little bit of a, Corey, you're a dickhead. And then there needs to be a little bit, but I'm trying. She doesn't call me a dickhead.
I was going to say, is this conversation verbatim? Like, did this happen in the car on the way here?
No, it's not. But you do need to constantly have the conversation, and sometimes you don't agree, but you need to just be on the same page, because your home life won't work and your business life won't work if there isn't alignment, right? And if one's not working, the other one suffers.
I was going to say, do you reckon surely they're connected? Like, you can't isolate business and life. Like, I don't think that's a reasonable thing.
You can, but you're intentionally ignoring the other, right? Well, I think in the reverse, I think business can still thrive if family stuff's not going good, but you're probably never there, right? So it's a constant juggle. With the kids, it's them understanding me being a bit busier. And they might see some of their dads, friends' dads, at some more things, right? But it's just a conversation. I don't think there's a perfect way to juggle it. And it's the same thing with mortgage brokers. Chase the shiny system or call the customer. Well, it's the same thing in the relationship. Have a conversation and do it regularly. Because if you don't do it regularly, if you're not flexing that muscle or building that muscle, if you go in the gym and you keep doing chest and you're never doing biceps, right? You're never going to build your biceps. But if I'm having that conversation with my wife regularly, you get really good at that conversation. You get really good at understanding where they're at. You get really good at, do they need more from me? And sometimes business is seasoned. So sometimes the conversation is, hey, this week's not looking, next week's going to be real tough. But you got to repay it. So if I have a week where I don't see much of my family. I don't really contribute. Well, I've got to pay that the following week.
And so, do you have some sort of structure around these conversations, or the way that you do like family holidays or anything of that nature?
No, I'm very like
ad hoc.
Yeah, well, that's the way it needs to be for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, needs to be, and that's very selfish because my wife might be ad hoc and want to have a conversation about it. I'm like, I'm not in the headspace to do it.
Yeah,
but if it's usually, hey, Corey, you're good to have a chat, and if it's not, then can we do it Thursday?
Make some time.
Yeah, we'll do it Thursday.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, mate. Everyone's got a very similar answer. It's fucking not easy. It's building a business and raising a family hard on their own, and doing both of them at the same time it's fucking difficult.
I'm very
what are you
fortunate.
Do?
Very fortunate to have a good great partner that's wanting to build that life with me. So it takes two to tango, right? And the other, if you're willing to have those conversations and the other one's not, that's going to be real difficult.
Yeah. All right, it's a cracker. If you could give 8-year-old Corey one piece of advice, what would you tell him?
Ooh. Don't be a pussy.
When 8-year-old Corey asks, what the fuck are you talking about, older Corey, what are you going to answer to him?
I think it's hard. I think I started a lot of things later than a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think because I didn't know what I wanted to do for a long time, so I just fluffed around. Was very social. I think if it was a weird. How do I explain this? The childhood was very weird, right? In the sense that it was, I don't even know how to go into it. Just be resilient. Things will change. Don't I think I tried to impress. I think I took myself too seriously for a period of time there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there's one thing I could say, but I think I would say, no one's going to do it for you. Your family's not going to do it for you. Everyone's going to rely on you. So Corey, you need to be ready to have a big life. And I don't know what word to say, mate. I should have thought about this question more.
It's a hard question, mate.
It's a hard one. Yeah, I think just, don't be too hard on yourself. Don't take yourself too seriously, and be resilient. I think those are and would an 8-year-old understand that? No.
Yeah.
That's probably what I would say. Like, it would be, 8 was a tough time for me because we relocated from Queensland, New South Wales, and I was
you're a Queenslander.
I was born in Sutherland Hospital. All right, I was from the Sutherland Shire.
Who state of origin? Who's New
South Wales?
Okay. All right. Just had to double check.
But we moved. We moved to Queensland. We moved back from Queensland to New South Wales, and the education system, because Queensland's are more stupid.
Oh fuck!
If you're in year 1, you're at the educational level of 1 down, or kindy, or whatever it is. If you're in year 2, you're learning what you're learning in year 1 at that time.
Back then.
So when I came back to New South Wales, I was like, no, we'll keep him in year 2. So I was behind. So it took me 3 years to kind of, and I'm bad at school. When I talk about chaos, school environments don't work for me, right? So 8 was a weird time. So I think for me, it would have been, it will get easier. Just keep being yourself. This stuff doesn't matter. Be resilient. Same thing I tell my son. He's not great at school. As long as he's a good person, I don't.
How old's your son?
10.
So you're pretty close to talking to your son here, mate. Yeah. You're pretty close to talking to your son.
I tell him those things don't matter, and just keep choosing to be you. You'll figure it out.
Love this, mate.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's a weird. That's a tough question, mate.
It is. That's why I ask it. And I ask it at the end.
Yeah.
Because it rattles everyone.
I wonder if I'd piss myself off.
Oh shit. Well, make sure when you go home, go tell your son exactly what you would have told yourself.
Yeah, well, I think
he's
I do
about that
tell-
age.
I think I do
Oh,
tell him
you're on it. You're on it. You had your answer then.
Yeah,
you had your
I
answer.
took too long to get to it. Yeah, yeah.
Mate, how long do you think we've been talking for?
An hour?
How long we've been talking for? Hour and a half. Corey Goldby, Source Financial. We're done, mate.
Cool.
Appreciate you, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed the show. Corey Goldby, Source Financial. Reach out, say g'day. He's a good fella. Goodbye. See you next time.